My name is Bailey O'Regan. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at St. Thomas. I graduated in 2021 with my Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Criminology and Criminal Justice. And if you've ever heard a presentation done by me, I often talk about our experiential learning and career development office. There are a lot of opportunities to kind of put your degree to work kind of in a more hands-on experience and hands-on way. So I won't steal their thunder because they're going to do a little bit of a presentation. So Clara, I will pass it on to you to introduce yourself and the rest of the team.
Thank you, Bailey. Hello, everybody. My name is Clara Santa Cruz. I manage the Office of Experiential Learning and Career Development here at STU. And like many others, I'm also a very proud STU alumna and graduated with my psychology degree here from STU. So thank you for attending our presentation on growing professionally through career experience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Feist. I'm the Career Development Advisor here at STU, and I'm also a STU alumni, and I studied my Bachelor of Education here, and I love it here so much, and I'm so happy to work here and be talking to you guys about it today.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Alan Navas. For those who were not present at the panel, I work as internships coordinator here at the Office of Experiential Learning and Career Development with Clara and Erin. So for today's presentation, we'll be talking about the paid internships program, global experiential learning trips, the certificate in experiential learning, as well as the entrepreneurship program and other professional experiences. And at the end, you'll hear from Erin about on-campus jobs and career development. So to start off, let's talk about STU's paid internships program. The main things about the program is that all opportunities are paid. Students are paid at a rate of $16 per hour. Internships occur all throughout the school year. They can take place either in the fall semester, winter semester, or during the summer. In fact, the summer is our coolest term, really, because we have many different programs going on that allow students to do internships not just in New Brunswick, but also all across Atlantic Canada. So that would include PEI and Nova Scotia. And then also the program is very flexible, it's diverse and personalized. So what I mean about that is it's flexible in terms that it tailors to students' interests and needs. So whatever you're interested in learning more about, there really is an opportunity for you. So that brings me to the point about diversity. Every program and academic major at STU is represented within the program. So there really isn't such a thing as, oh my gosh, I'm doing English or I'm doing political science, and so I don't think I can have a chance for an internship. Trust me, there is something for everyone. And the coolest part about the program also is that you can pitch your own proposal and do an internship the way you want it with an employer of your preference. One of the most fun programs we have is called Launch Your Future, and that one allows students to design their desired internship placement and pitch it as a proposal and compete for funding. And if we're selected, then the office is able to provide funding so that the employer that you decide can hire you. We piloted that program last summer with 4 amazing STAR students who had beautiful results. As a matter of fact, one of them on the next slide, his name is Pablo, and I'm sorry, I actually quoted that wrong, not on this slide. But anyways, so Pablo is a current 4th year international student here at STU who created a proposal to do an internship with the New Brunswick Multicultural Council, and it went so well for him that they extended the internship into the following fall, and then at the end of the fall, he actually got offered a staff member position within the council, which he's currently working at, and he hasn't even graduated yet. So that kind of success story really is the norm within the program rather than the exception, and I'm always very happy to share those stories with students like yourself looking to go into internships. So if you're wondering at this point, why are internships important? There are 3 main reasons that I can think of when it comes to internships. So the first one is internships allow you to put your knowledge into action. So like I was saying earlier, students here at STU learn so many different transferable skills inside the classroom, and they're able to put them into practice out there outside of campus through internships. So you're able to really like bring those skills and that academic knowledge and put it out there into work. Then it also allows you to clarify your career goals. So it is often the case that students may not know what's the next step in their career journey. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help you navigate those questions and to help you engage in learning by doing. So when you're doing an internship, it can help you identify and or clarify your career goals. You might end up learning that you had a talent or a hidden passion that you were not aware of by doing your internship. And then the final thing is it also allows you to build your network. So like I said, internships take place off campus. And so it allows students to connect with prospective future employers and to make meaningful connections that really are valuable for, career journey after graduation. And like I was saying before, success stories are the norm rather than the exception within the internship program. And one of the students who really brought home the point about how important it is to do an internship when you have a liberal arts education is Maria Caridad Guerrero here on this slide. She's a current international student in her 4th year, about to graduate STU. And all throughout her 4 years here at STU, she's participated in volunteer activities, different internships, and on-campus as well as off-campus jobs. And in speaking with Caridad earlier this week, she really mentioned something that I thought was really important to share with prospective students. She was talking about how her background in the liberal arts really has helped her prepared to succeed in her internship by teaching her about critical thinking and communication and being able to solve problems at the workplace, as well as maintaining meaningful connections for her professional development. So I thought I'd share just because it really brings home the point about how important it is to do an internship while you're completing your studies here at STU. So earlier today in the panel, I got a question about where do students do internships? And so I guess the short answer to that would be anywhere across New Brunswick. And if you're doing the Launch Your Future program, it could be anywhere across Atlantic Canada. And it is usually small businesses and nonprofit organizations. So here's a recollection of some of the places where students have gone on to do amazing things. It includes journalism-oriented internships such as Huddle. We've got students working at the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce, the Nash Villa for students who are really interested in the care sector and gerontology, etc., and elementary literacy for students looking to go into education. Really, like I said, there is something for everyone in every academic program or major here at STU.
And although we get so many employers asking us to hire our STU students locally and here in Canada, we also still want to offer students the opportunity to go on global experiential learning trips and experience what it's like to volunteer and work abroad. So this exciting program that we offer through the office just started this year, and it's already been a huge success with a group of students who traveled this past fall to Costa Rica. 12 students worked with local organizations to learn about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, learn a lot about how Costa Rica is such a sustainable country, such a peaceful country, everything from economics, politics, culture, history, and that's what we do at every country that we'll be traveling to with groups of students, like getting a very well-rounded understanding of a new culture so that when students come back, they can bring back those intercultural skills and apply them at their internships, at their workplaces, with their relationships with others. So it's a very fruitful situation for all students to be involved in these trips. We're organizing future trips to Guatemala in Central America, Peru in South America, in Greece too. So we have a lot in the works to be able to send more students abroad on short-term trips. And then hopefully you also want to take advantage of Carrie's international semester abroad. So after you do one short-term trip during our scheduled breaks during the academic year, like March Reading Week or Fall Reading Week, you may want to go on a full semester abroad to get that full immersion in a new culture. If you want to still experience experiential learning, not necessarily like just through internships or jobs or volunteering, which are a lot, you can also, and you'll find you're going to be exposed to a lot of experiential learning in your major, any major that you pick. So there's experiential learning, the courses in all of our programs. Here are some examples. The English Language and Literature department has a course on literary publishing. Environment and Society has a work study project course where students co-create a project or like develop a solution to an environmental issue in society and work with the host organization to solve it. Here in Fredericton, super hands-on. The journalism and communications departments have a myriad of experiential learning opportunities, courses like documentary making, or just on Friday, yesterday, there was a student that was interviewing me as part of their radio podcasting course, and they brought all of their equipment that they have access to through their class. So it was really cool to see the students in action, like doing what they're learning theoretically in class outside of class. And you'll have a lot of opportunities to do that. After completing a certain number of courses with experiential learning in your degree, you will also be eligible to earn a certificate in experiential learning, which is awarded to you upon graduation. And students who have that certificate in experiential learning are able to show employers and graduate schools that you didn't just sit in a class and like viewed a lecture for your entire 4 years. You are actually engaged in your community. You are invested in learning more about the society that you're in and how to put the theory into practice. And last but not least, out of our other like little programs of experiential learning that we have is a brand new social entrepreneurship program. So it's an innovative program in which our office partnered with local, provincial, and national sponsors to support students to educate them in sustainable, inclusive, and socially responsible ways of building a business. So if you've ever thought like, or we're interested like, oh, maybe one day I would like to have a business. I would like to own my own shop or do my own, sell my own products. Then this is the program for you. And we are able to link it to sustainable development goals and ensure that you're having a social or environmental impact in addition to making your business a viable one. This program is 12 weeks of weekly sessions and culminates in 6 students gaining full-time summer internships, a certification in social enterprise. And those internships are specific for you to work on your idea and ensure that it comes to life during the summer. So super exciting. And again, a lot of ways to do experiential learning off campus and extracurricularly. So now I'll pass it on to Erin, who can tell you more about our own on-campus and career development services.
Great. So during your time at STU, we want to provide you with support in the career planning process, starting in your first year and following throughout your entire time with us. And because we're such a small university, it enables us to meet with students one-on-one on a regular basis and really get to know each person so that we can create an individualized plan that will be tailored to your interests and your career goals. So we really want to get to know you and really tailor the experience to you personally. The Career Development Office offers a variety of tools and resources that will guide you through the career planning process. So we offer workshops on topics such as resume writing, job search strategies, preparing for interviews, and we also have professional development in place that can support you in any positions that you might end up working in. And we can also help with the preparation for grad school and determining what path you might want to take once you've actually graduated. And I will say that while classes are a piece of what makes up your time at university, your work and your volunteering and extracurricular activities, those will also make up a great deal of what you're going to spend your time doing. So these experiences, they'll really help build a well-rounded resume, and they'll help you make meaningful connections with future references or potential employers. And it will also allow you to make a more informed decision about what you want your career to be in the future. So at St. Thomas, we offer on-campus employment programs that allow students to work closely with staff or faculty in a variety of different settings. So the first one you might hear about is the JOBS program. That stands for Job Opportunities Benefiting Students. And that offers on-campus employment to any student throughout the school year. We also have the StuWorks International program, and that offers on-campus job opportunities to first and second year international students, also with additional professional development workshops. So they focus on things such as working in Canada, learning how to navigate your first job successfully while getting used to living in an entirely new place. So that's a really great program for international students. We also have Canada Summer Jobs, and that offers students summer employment with the ability to stay in more of an academic environment outside of the regular school year. So all of these positions, they have flexible hours in order to accommodate your class schedules, and your supervisors, they'll work with you to ensure that you receive all the guidance that you need to be successful in the workplace. And one important thing that I think is to note is that working on campus doesn't just mean having a job. It gives students an opportunity to contribute to the community that they're actually a part of. So it builds those meaningful connections with your professors and the staff team, and that'll lead to great references, great connections that could then lead to future employment opportunities. Like you saw, a lot of us, we're STU alumni and we work here. So you never know where that could lead to. So we've listed some of the sample positions that students have had this year as an example of the variety of opportunities offered. So everything from doing research with faculty to working with residence life, coordinating events, providing mental health support, working with Indigenous students or in the IT office. You could work with supporting students in even career exploration. I hired a student this year to work with me, and it's so much fun. We love to work with students. So that's why we love to offer those opportunities. And really, the opportunities are endless. And we'll always work with you to ensure that you find employment in the area that you're passionate about or that you're studying. So that's a really great thing as well, because we're so small and because we all work as a community, we can really tailor the positions to what you're interested in too. So I know there's been a lot of information to kind of digest. So just to recap the points that we kind of want you to take away from the experiential learning and career development opportunities, we want you to know that there are no limits to the experiential learning opportunities that we have available to you. And the key is to take advantage of the opportunities while you're studying with us, because we really do. We offer once in a lifetime experiences. That's something that's special about STU. We make sure the experiences are tailored to you and that they're super exciting, super educational, but also fun. And like I say, once in a lifetime. And the beautiful thing also about STU is, like I said, is that it's small. So that gives us the ability to give that one-on-one support and guidance to each of the students. Our mission really is for every student to know that they matter to us and that we'll be there for you from the time you get here, from that very first day until you graduate and even beyond. We love it when students come back and visit with us. And then lastly, there are many opportunities offered through STU that will enable you to build a strong resume. When you leave STU, our goal is for you to have a robust resume, something you can take with you and successfully get into grad school or enter the workforce right away with no bumps in the road. So that really is our goal for you. And yeah, we're here to support no matter what. over to Clara.
Just saying thank you. Thank you for being here in our session. We can't wait to see you in the fall.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. I know that we have a little bit of time for some questions. I always challenge students that I talk to go in and visit with you guys because it really you can help students kind of figure out what it is that they really want to do and what they're passionate about. And even if students know what they're passionate about, you can help direct them in that direction, whatever that may be. So I praise you guys a lot when I'm on the road for sure. One of the kind of questions that I do have, I know that there are some upcoming trips that are happening. Clara, would you be able to maybe give us a little bit more information on trips such as Greece or Peru?
Yes, absolutely. So the Greece trip that we're also organizing in addition to the Great Books Department this spring is with a group of students that have an interest in business and economic development, entrepreneurship. So we're working with the in-house club called STU Global Brigades, which is a society led by students who want to make an impact globally. So we decided to work with this group of students and help them or plan and be able to access this opportunity abroad in Greece. They are going to be traveling with Erin so they can learn about business practices in Greece, work with immigrants there in the country to help them build their small businesses or further develop their entrepreneurship. So we're doing a lot of workshops in preparation for that and learning about intercultural development. Erin's even like giving them like brief Greek classes. So we're making sure that it's also again a well-rounded experience. So that's the business brigade to Greece that we're gonna go to. And we are organizing a trip to Guatemala in the spring. Things are still like in a planning process, and a Peru trip in the fall. So we hope to make him super enriching and again offer like a variety of countries and experiences that so that students come out of that experience fulfilled and growing personally and professionally.
That's awesome. I always get asked about travel study opportunities and traveling abroad. So the fact that we're able to give these kind of things to students is pretty awesome. I do have a question for you, Erin. I know I get a lot of questions about career outcomes when it comes to students graduating with a Bachelor of Arts. And I know that you help students with their career development. What kind of career outcomes are there for students who graduate with their Bachelor of Arts?
It's interesting that you asked that, Bailey, because I get that question every day. Like students will ask, what can I do with my major? What can I do with a Bachelor of Arts degree? And the answer is, honestly, you can do anything that you want to do pretty much. It really is something where the Bachelor of Arts is broad. You're getting so many transferable skills. We encourage students to take classes in so many different topics because it really does build those skills like thinking outside of the box and good communication skills and thinking critically. All of the classes that you have at St. Thomas build skills that you can use in almost any job. So the thing is to take advantage of the experiences that you're having here. So volunteering, jobs, clubs and societies, your courses, all of that stuff, and kind of trying to decide what you're passionate about and what you're interested in. And then as you progress through your however many years you're here, you kind of start to tailor what you're doing as you get to the end of your degree, so that by the time you're at the end, you might have an idea of, okay, maybe this is what I want my career to be. So you're really not locked into anything specific. it could be whatever you're passionate about. And that's kind of where I guess I come in, is giving the strategies and the tools to figure out what you're passionate about and kind of what the action plan will be to get you to that end goal. So the short answer is you can really do anything here.
Yeah, awesome. I always tell students too that if things kind of change over time, while you're here, we do have this in kind of any year that you're at, right? So if things change, that's okay, and that's normal, and that happens, and there's still career opportunities out there for you, even if it changes, because there are so many things that you can do with it. So yeah, awesome. Ali, I do have a question for you as well regarding internships. And so kind of wondering in terms of balance and things that you can do with internships, is it possible that a student could work both sort of on campus and do an internship kind of simultaneously? So maybe having a job on campus, but also having an internship kind of off campus as well. Are there sort of limits to how much you can do within that kind of context?
Thanks for that question. It's probably the hardest question I get very often, really, because our students are just so eager to engage in so many experiences throughout their degrees. Um, Short answer to that is yes, there are limits, but I will expand on that by saying, like, students are allowed to work a maximum of 20 hours per week on campus during the school year. So that would be like the fall semester and the winter semester. There is no limit over the breaks. So if they're doing like internships and jobs during the summer break, then there wouldn't be a limit. And I will speak about my program when it comes to internships. During the school year, internships have a limit of 15 hours per week. And the reason that that's the case, it's because we recognize that students are people overall, right? And so you need a balance. You need to stay healthy and make sure to like have time for your friends and family, and most importantly, factor in the time to dedicate to your studies, which is the main reason you'd be here. So that's why the internships program has that limit of 15 hours per week. However, during the summer break, students are allowed to do a full-time internship placements. So that would be 35 hours per week. And I guess to add a bit more to that, there is flexibility. So if 15 hours per week during the semester is a bit too much, students can always talk to me and we can arrange with the supervisors to tailor the time limit to meet their needs, depending on the different responsibilities and volunteer activities and classes they have and stuff like that. And then to touch on the point about doing multiple things at once, short answer, yes. Yes, they can do an internship and they can work at the same time off campus. Like, I'm not here to tell anybody not to do that, but I do tell students to be like more careful when it comes to balancing their time, because again, we want them to have a very meaningful, enriching experience overall. So it really depends on the student and how they choose to manage their time, but they are allowed to do it so long as they don't exceed the time limits.
Awesome. Yeah, I do have a very quick follow-up question. We're kind of running out of time, but Ali, if I could follow up with one more question. Is it possible for students to experience an internship in more of an educational facility in New Brunswick? Would that be possible for St. Thomas students?
Yes. So you can see Clara's nodding over there. So yes, that is a possibility. Like I was talking about earlier, students can do internships with nonprofit organizations, and a lot of the times that are organizations that have to do with literacy and tutoring to like help, for example, elementary students reinforce their reading habits and stuff like that. So for example, one that comes to my mind, elementary literacy, as I'm saying that, we've had lots of interns throughout the years doing placements with them. So that is a possibility. And we also have like different opportunities for students to do things that have to be like education related, and they can be like designing summer camps or facilitating kids clubs or stuff like that all throughout the province. So that really does help students who are building up their resumes to apply for a Bachelor of Education later on, for example.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much for being on our panel. But Christy, I will pass it on to you.